Well, hello, sunshines. Happy Monday, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you guys had a great weekend as well. As I mentioned earlier in the month, I am wanted to use the custom print and cut images that I created for the Celebrate workshop. I wanted to use those for some cards just to give you guys some additional project inspiration. There have been a lot of you guys who have either placed an order on my website to qualify for the cutting files for this workshop, or you've placed an order to qualify for the pre-cut kits for this workshop, or you are a consultant friend who has placed an order over through PayPal to purchase the files that way so that you can offer the class to your own customers, all of which is awesome. I have just really been surprised at how successful this workshop has been. And so I felt like giving you guys a little bit additional project information would be really helpful. So I went ahead and just kind of playing around, made 8 greeting cards in various sizes using a good selection of the print and cut pieces that are part of that workshop. So since I haven't actually done a video for the Celebrate workshop yet, we're going to go through and I'm going to show you guys those pages up close, and I'm going to show you the cards as well. So I keep talking about the print and cut images. So this is something that I've not actually made its way into a big workshop yet. I do a lot of the print and cut inside our Creative Collaboration membership group, and the ladies in there just absolutely love it as well, but it's never made it into my personal business the way that it has with this workshop. So I want to give you guys like a really quick little peeky peek at the print and cut images that you're going to get in this kit. So I have an add-on kit here. We're not going to take all of it out. There are a lot of stinking pieces in this month's kit. I do have more of these still in my stash. You guys know that they are while supplies last. So once I am done with them, I don't restock them. So you guys do have a little bit longer to get your add-on kit if you would like to qualify for one. Those are $125 order on my shopping website. We'll get you the add-on kit, which is all of the cardstock, Cricut pieces, and print and cut images that are needed for the 14-page workshop. You'll also get the Stamp of the Month pre-cut project kit as well. So I'm not taking all of these out of there. There is still a lot down here in this envelope, but this is going to give you guys a good selection. But you will notice that I am mourning the loss of our Picture My Life cards, since they have been, taken out of our product line. It kind of made me sad because I loved them and I felt like they were just another great embellishment, accessory, if you will, to coordinate with the paper collections. So I am a little sad about those, but I thought, you know what? Mix-ins is what I was working with this workshop. I love the color palette. And we don't have Picture My Life cards with the mix-ins anyway. So I thought, you know what, let's just see what I can come up with in Cricut. And so I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. Obviously you guys are too, but I'm going to flip through here and show you guys some of the pieces that I created. And again, these are custom created. I think the balloon is from the Close to My Heart art booking collection. Other than that, I'm just nearly positive the rest of it is all just free shapes. It's lots of slicing and dicing and welding and trimming and all of this good stuff. It's my favorite thing to do in Cricut. I love it. But what that amounts to is that the free shapes don't cost you anything. So if you don't have either Cricut Access or you don't have a lot of the cartridges that I maybe would have used, you don't have to worry about purchasing those. So it's mostly free shapes, and I'm super happy with how they turned out. So there are a few like real Picture My Life-ish types of cards. You've got some 4x6s here. We have some 3x4s here. You can see Let's Party, Good Times, and Birthday. And what you guys are going to notice when we kind of move into the cards is that I've used a lot of these images on greeting cards, just like we've used them on the pages as well. So again, it's super fun and it's very quick and easy inside the files that you'll get whenever you receive the workshop, you will have a little tutorial on there, a link to a course that will show you exactly how to create with print and cut. It's very quick and easy. The video is only 17 minutes long. It'll help you calibrate your machine and get everything set up and ready to go. So all you need is a color printer and your Cricut machine. It's awesome. But what fun about it, and the reason why I felt strongly about doing the cards for you guys, is that you can go and cut more of these as many times as you want. So maybe you guys would like to get your hands on the print and cut pieces, but you have no desire to make scrapbook pages. You just want to make cards. You can take the print and cut pieces, cut as many of them as you want, and just go to town making greeting cards, which is why I provided some of that inspiration for you guys. So you've got these fun little either view master or view finder. I've seen it both ways, so you can call it whatever you want, but we've got some fun pages using those. There are some fun little titles that went right in the center of them, and so I kind of gave it a little bit of a birthday theme. I do want to show you something really quickly. So we're going to chase a buffalo here for a second, because you guys know that's what I do around here. But you hear me talk a lot about creative collaboration. Well, that is the membership group that my friends Chris and I co-own, co-teach in, all that good stuff. We have a lot of hundreds of fun ladies inside there that we have nearly 400 previously streamed classes, and they come with cutting files. They come with inspiration sheets with all of our supply listings, additional photos, live video demonstrations, all that good stuff. But we're up to almost 400 classes now, because we're starting our 5th year at the end of this month. But one of the things that kind of drew inspiration on one of those classes from July was this fun little viewfinder. And so one of the classes that I taught in there, this doesn't look like a real fancy layout, but man, there is a lot of information jam-packed in here, let me tell you. If you're inside the membership, go to Dueling Patterns from July 2023, and you can have access to this class and all of these images and cutting files. And if you're not a part of Creative Collaboration and you might want to kind of dive into 400 classes that will keep you busy for a long, long time, send me a message and I'll pop you over a link that has some information. I'm not going to like bug you or hound you or anything like that, but it's an open invitation if you might want to pop in and join us at least for a little while. I think that this page turned out so stinking cute, and I love the title, by the way. There are additional titles inside in that class. But this I thought would make a really fun cover page, since it's a single layout. So I thought this might be, if you guys were working on a specific album and you kind of like to keep all of your pages matchy, this would make a really fun cover page. And again, some super fun little techniques in there that you probably don't see just right off the bat, but it was just another fun way to kind of take that viewfinder that I created, and we use it in a totally different way. So I just had to bring that in there because, it matches and it's cool, right? So you've got your Picture My Life cards, your viewfinders. There's a few Celebrate titles on here, or sentiments that we used on the cards that you guys will see in a bit. There are all these fun little circles welded together. I love them. I don't really know why I love them so much, but I do. And they made a cute card as well. You've got a few of those. This is my favorite sentiment that I created, the You Shine Bright. I absolutely love it. And I feel like the fun part about sentiments or titles like this for pages is that it's just extremely generic. So it really could work for a lot of different photos, and you're not like really bound by the theme that I create and present for you. You guys can really use it to showcase a lot of different photos of your choice, right? So I love this one. You've got just some fun color block pieces in here. Again, I didn't pull all of them out of the envelope because there's 124 of them. I counted all of your Cricut print and cut pieces. Just the print and cut pieces are 124, and that doesn't include all of the cardstock pieces that come in the add-on kit as well. But one of the other elements that I created that I absolutely loved, and I didn't feel like the ladies over on my business page loved it as much as me. And I put a post up last week and I said, survey said you guys did not like these. And one of my sweet friends said, what do you mean? What survey said we didn't like them? I love them. And so I gauged that on when I was giving you guys sneak peeks back in July. like this, the post of the diamond layout only got like 65 likes and the others had over 200. So that's how I judged that you guys didn't like them. But I love the diamonds. They are so fun and they made an adorable card as well. I think the page is pretty cute too. But these are another fun generic element that again, you guys could really use on such a wide variety of projects. So you've got a bunch of the diamonds in there. You've got a bunch of the different types of pennants. So I just had a lot of fun with these pennants. As I said, they're just free shapes, you guys. They're just welded, tons of them welded together. So it was like a labor of love, but it's my favorite thing to do in Cricut. So you've got tons of these little interesting different patterns of your banners. I love these banners with the little stripes in them. You'll see some fun ways I use those on the cards as well in a bit. We've got some banners with the bigger stripes. You've got banners with these fun geometric shapes on there. You've got, here's some with a triangular that has some stripes on them as well. And you can tell it's all in that same color palette that goes with the mix-in paper. So I think it's also kind of fun and worth noting that it is a very gender neutral color palette. So those of you that are like, I am not putting glitter and pink with my boys. Well, this is a really great kit that will work perfect for your boys that don't like pink and glitter, right? So that is just kind of a look at the print and cut images. They are completely 100% designed by myself. This isn't an SVG cartridge that you can buy. This isn't from Cricut. They're just it just came from my brain. Okay. So if you guys want to get these, you can grab them when you get the cutting files. And so you can get the cutting files either free with a $25 order placed on my website. You can get them through PayPal over on my blog. I'll put all these links below. You can get them directly through PayPal over on my blog without placing an order. Or if you want to place a $125 order on my website, you're going to get it all pre-cut and sent to you. Not just the electric files, the digital files. You'll actually get the add-on kit, which is that envelope that I showed you with all of the cardstock, Cricut pieces, and all of the print and cut pieces, totally free as a gift from me. And you'll also get the stamp of the month pre-cut project kit. You can see that video over on the YouTube channel and also here on the Facebook business page as well. So 2 kits if you place a $125 order, and they're gonna all, like, the hard work is all done for you. All you guys will have to do is with your paper trimmer, just cut your 6 sheets of your pattern paper. Everything else is done for you. So the workshop will be really, really quick to put together. So I want to show you guys, we're just going to kind of make it pretty quick to kind of run through these pages, and I'll show you guys the cards as well. So I want to give you guys a really quick and let you know that the supply list, oh my gosh, not big at all, okay? The fun thing about the color palette that matches the mix-in paper is that the Celebrating You embellishments, now remember, those were released. Thank you, Margie. Me too. I love the palette as well. I'm so glad that you like it as well. The Celebrating You paper collection was released in last year's annual book. Now, we still have it available for a couple more weeks, but it means that the embellishments are on the chopping block, right? So once they sell out, they're completely gone. So if you guys want this workshop, please don't delay. This is going to be something that is going to be on your chopping block. So is your mix-ins paper, okay? But the Celebrating You embellishments that have all these amazing white acrylic shapes are going to coordinate so perfectly with this paper. It's awesome. So you're just going to need your mix-in paper, a few sheets of your cardstock for your base pages. The add-on kit obviously has all of the other printed paper and cardstock and all that stuff cut for you. Then you'll need a bunch of dots. I just used like a stinking ton of them, you guys. I went through my stash. I colored a bunch of my color dots with my black Sharpie marker. And I just used like an obscene amount of dots. You don't have to use as many as me, but I'm just telling you, 2 packages of dots is not going to be enough. So you guys will want to go through and use up some of your stash. And you're also going to need a roll of the silver shimmer trim. So the entire supply listing is over on the blog, of course. But I want you guys to see that you're not going to need to grab very very much to make a stinking ton of pages, a ton of pages. So we'll get to the cards in a moment. I did use up some of the leftovers in the cards. I think you guys will like them, but let me give you a little peeky peek at the pages, and we'll try to keep this video. Okay, we'll try to keep the video kind of sort of short, but really, I mean, I'm kind of long-winded. You guys have met me, right? So, layout number one, those fun Picture My Life cards that I told you about, some of the pennants that are just kind of adding a little bit of jazz on either edge there. You've got this great title here. The stenciling really added a lot to this workshop, you guys. We used that little card front stencil pack. It's on the supply listing, of course. You may already have it. But it added some fun circles on here. And I just kind of wanted to stick with the geometric feel of the paper and the print and cut. So I used a lot of those circles. I think I used it on every single page, but they really just added a lot in just a little bit of the corners that were a little bit bare, kind of covered up a little bit of that open plain cardstock, and just added a little bit of something, something. That's what I like to call it, because I don't have another word for it. It's just a little something, something, right? Not too much, just enough, right? So some fun little dots kind of scattered throughout. You'll notice there are a lot of those Celebrating You embellishments. I used all the great big titles, all the way down to the little teeny tiny pieces. That just worked so great for these awesome, awesome accent elements. I just loved it. And that's why I mentioned you guys have got to get your order placed before these little puppies sell out. The flower shop, which was the suite of paper right next to the Celebrating You in that big catalog last year, those have already sold out and they were not restocked. And so I just, like, this is my last warning to you guys. You want to go ahead and get your order placed so you can get them and before they sell out, because you can put the workshop together without them, but I feel like you're going to notice that it definitely is going to miss a bit of that artistic feel. Okay. So here is the layout with the diamonds. I personally loved it. I think it was not the favorite of you guys, but this, again, just a super great generic feel, right? You can see more of that stenciling down there, and you've got some of these diamonds that are just kind of peeking off over the edges. You guys are getting full diamonds, so you will be responsible for cutting off the edges wherever you decide to place them on your pages. And I mention that so that you know that you will have some hanging over leftover pieces, so that those can be something that you add somewhere else on your layouts or on a greeting card as well. Lots of these fun titles you'll see here. These are a yellow, pardon me, in Close to My Heart world, it's honey butter. But you'll see the yellow here in the paperboard, which is that like thinner chipboard type material. And then you've got the white acrylic on the top. And it just makes for a super, super snazzy, really high quality embellishment. And so there are a lot of those that I've used throughout the workshop that you guys will notice. I am just really happy with how they turned out. The right page is just as fun, more of that acrylic over here on top of the little Picture My Life card. And I love this little thing down here, this little cake down here. One of my friends also said there needed to be some stickles on the flame, and I agree with that now that she said that. So you guys might want to grab some stickles and add it to the flame. It would make those little candles show up a little bit better, but I think it turned out awesome. Again, lots of that stenciling kind of back behind those geometric shapes. And I just think it looks awesome. So I keep saying awesome. Apparently awesome is the word for the day. Maybe we'll roll with it, right? So layout number 3, again, more of those geometric shapes. I have lots of pennants happening down here. Here's that fun Picture My Life card. You'll remember in the original, there is a little bitty, pardon me, there's a little bitty black heart here that's created on the card, and then you of course can take your pen and draw your strings. Okay, so I didn't know whether you wanted straight strings or curly strings. It's up to you, but I left it available so you guys could decide. But what I did was I had one of those silver glitter hearts in the embellishment pack, and that really tied in nicely with the shimmer trim and the other little accents of the glitter that were kind of scattered around on the page. And so I felt like the silver heart would work nicely. So I covered up that black heart and drew my strings in, and I think it looked really, really cute. So you can see just lots of that fun geometric, more of that stenciling there. These are just those same pennants that are down here at the bottom. They're just tucked back behind that little Picture My Life card, a little bit, just a few of those star dots around the outer edges. And I just think it is just a cute little little tiny cluster of embellishments up there. I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, you've got these banners that are just kind of like hanging out there in the middle of nowhere, but they just add this fun element down there. I love the color. Of course, my first goal is to add a little bit of color in the different areas on the pages, but it just added a bit of something pretty and fun and playful, but it just really wasn't too much. Didn't really overpower it, right? Here is your title little portion over here. Again, more of those fun glitter shapes that are inside the embellishment kits, more stenciling, and a bit more of those banners down at the bottom. I just love them. I absolutely love them. I keep saying it over and over. I've not loved a workshop this much in a long time. It really, it's probably, I'd have to look back over the, 10 years I've been doing workshops and go back and see if there's one I liked better than this, but it's pretty close to the top of the list. So, this one again has that really fun, title that was my favorite, You Shine Bright. You can see this would be so great for just a generic, photos of your choice, guys. You've got some of these wider, colored stripped of the pennants up here that they don't really look like pennants. They're not really, they're not really acting like pennants like they are at the bottom. They're just a bit of kind of covering up some of that blank space, using some of that color up there at the top. And I, again, just totally love it. You've got that great title, You Shine Bright, some more of those little pieces that come in the embellishment pack with some dots on top, because I like to do that. I like to take something and stick a dot on top of it, like a sequin. I'll put a dot on top. I don't know why. It's just something I've done for years and years, and I love it. Just adds a little bit something else. You've got some glitter over here on the outer edges as well. And I just think it really, like, these pages just came together so great. If you guys do not want to put some pennants over your photos, don't put it on a face. I always tell you that. But usually, if this is like on top of grass or a coffee table or something like that, it's a great way to kind of add a little bit of having your eye kind of fluidly move across your page. I've said that for years. When things overlap, your photos or your pattern papers or something like that, it just kind of helps your eyes move a little bit, a little softer from edge to edge, instead of like being really, it's kind of hard to find the right words, but it's like a photo and then you've got some paper and then you've got a photo, and it just kind of looks a little boxy or a little choppy, right? But whenever you can begin to take just corners of things and just kind of slightly overlap them, whether it be like a little embellishment that's overlapping a piece of paper, or something like this, an element that's actually overlapping heavily on a photo, it just helps kind of bring it all together instead of it looking a little bit more choppy. I hope that makes sense. So your right page, just a nice little companion page, again, stenciling and all the things pretty much that you see on the left, we have translated over to the right, because that's how I like to do things. I like it to have that cohesive feel, where you have, where you know that the pages are matching, right? Like they are siblings and they belong together. So more of that fun stenciling. Look at how dramatic it looks on this toffee base page. I love it. I love it. You've got more of those acrylic titles that looks awesome with that glitter paper underneath, and that's just a fun little clustering of smaller photos. If you guys don't like to use smaller photos, or maybe pardon me, it happens every time I turn the camera on, I start yawning. But if you guys don't like smaller photos, or maybe you don't print your own photos, or you don't have a way of cutting down your bigger photos without slicing ahead into, you could easily put pattern paper just up here instead of filling it in with the photo. So you can see there's pattern paper that are actually used for these photo mats. So you could omit the photos and use it for journaling if you would like, or you could just add some stamping or some other embellishments of your choice. So don't get a little bit overwhelmed with the small tiny photos. A lot of times they're just really used as accents. As you can see, there are 6 other really great usable photo spaces on here. And you can just use these as accents, or you can just omit them altogether. So lots of the fun pennants on these, and you can see just lots of those dots and little chipboard, paperboard elements just kind of scattered around, because it adds just some fun clustering around those larger pieces. So you've got 2 more of the acrylic pieces over here on the right, the Make-A-Wish and This Day. And again, this one looked a little kind of bright and white to me. And I don't usually do bright and white, but you have to consider by the time we get photos onto here, it's significantly going to kind of tame it down just a little tiny bit. So I think that will look completely different when we get photos on top of that one, especially because it had a little less color than some of the others. So here's that fun one with the viewfinder. So you can see I've got enjoy the view, the best day. The other title, I told you guys that on the membership page that I showed you, I used the title, created one that said enjoying the view with you. There was another title in case the members wanted to do a companion page, that title said things are something to the effect of things are great with you around, or something along those lines. So kind of playing on the fact that this was round. I'm like the punniest girl ever, right? You're either rolling your eyes or you're shutting your phone off. I'm not sure which one. So just some fun different ways to kind of use that. You can see totally different here, used it smaller as an embellishment, print and cut piece. But on the other page, actually cut it out with cardstock and backed it and did a whole bunch of really fun techniques. So anyway, if you guys are inside the membership, go back to July, Dueling Patterns, and you'll see how I created that one, okay? So just a totally different look on it. The smaller elements here, you can see a little bit of stenciling done on the sapphire, the toffee, and the honey butter. So all the cardstock has stenciling on it. Some of those really fun just geometric feel of those pennants. I love them. It was just a fun way to kind of take up a little bit of that blank space there. If you guys wanted to put another photo in its place, you certainly could. You've got other areas you could place your pennants if you wanted to do that. This one, oh my goodness. I have no idea why I yawn when my camera's on, but this one had a lot more color than that last one, right? And so if you wanted to kind of change it up, the feel of that up a little bit, and substitute some of that color out for more photos, you certainly could do that. So right page pretty much looks like the left page. You can see we've got some zip strip here. And my fun thing with the zip strips, I like to tear them with my hands because it takes on the feel of washi tape. And I think that is a fun look. So if you guys don't do that, just kind of maybe look at your zip strips as washi tape that can be a coordinated embellishment for some of your projects. So you could cut them with a paper trimmer if you want, but they have that really authentic feel when you just tear them with your hands. And I think that's super fun. So let's see, last layout. And I'll mention as well, guys, that when I pulled out the supplies for this workshop before I began creating, the Cake Day dots, which were some colored dots, they were still available. Well, by the time the workshop was done and went live to customers, the Cake Day dots, the Cake Day dots had sold out. So all I wanted to mention is that you guys, if you're wanting to get the orange, the green, and the blue dots like I used here. And I covered up the others. I took my black Sharpie and I covered up the yellow and I covered up the hot pink in that collection because I liked the black and I used much more black than I did the colors. And it's also a way to kind of take a dot that doesn't match my paper and make it match my paper. So it's not sitting in my stash, going to waste. I can actually use it and get it out of the way, and that's a good feeling, right? But if you guys like the look of a few of the layouts that have the colored dots, then you'll want to grab the blue dots, the green dots, and the orange dots that are in the catalog that are current and orderable, and that'll give you those colors, and you will be able to add the colored dots to your projects. You'll even have more dots than what I had, and you'll have the colored dots in the stars and hearts as well, where I didn't because the Cake Day dots were only circular. So I just wanted to mention that if you guys are looking for the supply listing, Cake Day dots are going to show as unavailable, but you can get the very exact same look, only better, grabbing those colored dots from the shopping website that are current and available. Okay. So this one is super fun as well. You can see lots of photo spaces on here. And again, what I always say, if you guys don't want to overlap a photo, then just move your pennants somewhere else. You can move them off the photo and move them over here to an edge or something like that. So if you don't want them, covering up something that's important on your photo, just scoot them out of the way. But if you kind of like the look of them overlapping, then I feel like this really looks super cool out there, just kind of overlapping a portion of it, adding a little punch of color down there. Okay. So this is the layout that we use, those 3x4 picture my life kind like ish cards. And we've got these fun little welded circles over here. Like I said earlier, I don't know why I love them so much, but I totally do. I love, love, love how they turned out. And then you've got the matching pennants down here at the bottom. That's why I use so many dots, you guys, is not only did we have those great little like supporting like little cluster elements around all of these little fun focal images, but I just to have this thing like in my own mind, a pennant or like a banner needs to have something that's anchoring it to somewhere, right? Like my pennant might be floating out into space, but there's something holding them there, right? Because we've got the fun dots there. So I feel like all of my pennants and my banners from the beginning of time have all had to have dots that are anchoring them. And so again, since we use so many banners and pennants on this scrapbook workshop, there are so many dots. So you guys can get away with a lot less dots if you're like, okay, Suze, I'm not all about the dots. That's okay. You don't have to have that many. But that is the reason why I use so many of them. Well, hello, Miss Judy. Good morning. Or maybe afternoon for you guys. Nope, it's still morning where you're at. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I love it too. It's kind of nice to have a bit of a kind of like not really even a boyish color palette. It's just super like neutral, right? Like neutral themed, neutral in color. I love it. So there's like nothing really that would kind of tie this to a girl type thing. There's like no pink, no flowers, nothing like that. So I hope that you guys will enjoy it and find lots of uses for it. So again, right page, pretty much like the left page, you can tell it like if they get lost in the supermarket, I want people to know they go together, right? Again, more of these fun little, I love the little welded circles there, and they just made such a nice little accent back behind like your big, your photo spaces there. So that was the last layout. Now let's have a look at these fun little cards. Now we're going to take a little bit of time on the cards, you guys. And I'm going to do that because I want to actually talk you through what I did to create these. So I have already uploaded all of these photos, the individual photos, the up close photos. I've uploaded all of them already over in the Google folder. So if you guys already have, if you're listening to me and you already have access to this workshop, so the Google folder, you've either purchased the files through PayPal or you've earned them with your order and you have access to those. All of these photos are already in there right now. Okay. So you don't need to wait. If you want to go in and have a good look, at some great product inspiration, you guys can do that. They're already there. So I'm going to go through and I want to talk you guys through, how I did this and what I did. There was no need. It was not even necessary to have a cutting file of any kind because as we go through here, you guys will see these are made up of the print and cut elements that you already have either in your kit or you can print or cut more of them with the file. And then just like the thin cuts and that type of thing, you'll know them when we look at them, you'll know exactly the thin cuts I'm talking about. They're not easy to mistake. So I want to go through and have a look at these with you guys. So this is probably one of my favorites. I love them all, but I love this one. Again, I told you guys, I love the diamonds. I just love them. And I love this You Shine Bright. So this was just create a fun 5x7 card. This was just, I took a bunch of those diamonds and I adhered them down onto my white cardstock. Cut my white cardstock out into your 5x7 shape, and you've got the You Shine Bright. This was just a little bit of scrap sapphire cardstock and scrap black cardstock that I just kind of took two and piggybacked one on top of each other, offsetting them just slightly so that you can see a little bit of both colors. I popped that You Shine Bright on top there with some foam tape, and I've got a little bit of those glacier dots that you can find in the blue dots assortment just to kind of fill in a little bit of that white space on top. But so quick and easy, you guys. But I think it made such a great card. And this could work for such a wide variety of occasions. It could be a birthday card or a thank you card, or, you guys know, like, my thing with cards is I keep them kind of generic on the outside, and then I stamp a sentiment that's more personalized for the occasion or the person on the inside. So it's a quick and easy way to have my card making done ahead of time, but then all I have to do when I know who I'm going to give it to, I do a little bit of personalized stamping on the inside. So that works out really well for me. But I feel like this is a super cool generic card that would work for male or female. And it's stinking cute at the same time, right? So this one, I have used just a bit of honey butter cardstock. I have cut it out with that the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 stitched card front thin cut that I believe all of these are still on the website right now, guys, even though some of them are older. But this was just honey butter cardstock. I took that all those welded circles, and I didn't resize these, you guys. I just cut a second set of the print and cut pieces, and I put them on my plate, and I just kind of went to town. I had a few extras, so like there are some that I have multiples of, but I didn't change the sizes on them, okay? So like this is the same exact size that it's in the Cricut file. I didn't change that, so you don't have to worry about it not fitting, okay? So we've got the welded circles. I've got the congrats card. Okay. That's in the set as well. I told you guys I had some leftovers from the Celebrating You embellishments. And so I wanted to try to incorporate some of those onto the cards as well. By the way, I still have a stinking ton of leftovers, but I did use some of them. Okay. So I used some of these sapphire glitter pieces. They were part of the embellishment kit. You'll notice we've got some more of those dots. This was one that had the glitter little piece on the back and then the acrylic on the front. I think that looked really cool, just kind of sticking it down there on top of the edge of that card. And I think it looks really cool that it kind of overlaps it. Again, you guys have heard me say that in the last 10 minutes, right? It doesn't bother me at all that it's like covering up the edge of that. You can still read what it says perfectly. No one is like holding it upside down or straining or, calling to ask. So it's just kind of a nice little way to kind of take two elements and put something over the top, and it just kind of makes it look a little bit more fluid whenever you're having a peek at it. And again, that's just kind of my brain and how it looks best to me. And if you guys would like to kind of alter that, you be my guest. But either way, looks super duper cute. Okay. Here is one, again, you'll notice this thin cut as well, that fun slimline with the 3 squares out of the center. And I love the stitching on this one. I love, love, love it. So what I did is I had a little bit of leftover paper from the mix-ins. So I took a little scrap of the yellow for the top and the bottom, and then a little scrap of the green for the inside, the middle. And I put a bunch of those banners on here. Okay. So I stuck them on there. I trimmed off the overhang, because you'll notice some of them are clearly going to overhang, but I trimmed off the overhang, and then I put my front frame on top, and that just covered it up and made it look really, really spectacular. This was done in mink cardstock, in case you were wondering. This is a print and cut piece. And if some of you guys, I don't really know how useful it will be, or if you guys are interested in it. But if anyone is interested who got the file, if you guys would like me to go in and grab the Cricut print and cut pieces that I have added to these that were not a part of the workshop print and cuts, I'll stick those in a Cricut file and put that link up in the Google Drive for you. If that's of interest to you. Probably most of you guys that are familiar with the print and cut, you're probably inside the membership and you already have a bunch of these, so you don't need any new ones. But if you want me to do a file with these that I specifically use for these cards, I will be glad to do that for the little black and white pieces there. So that is just one of those, just a little black and white print and cut piece. This is another piece of the leftover embellishments from the Celebrating You. It's got that really awesome sapphire glitter with the paperboard in the honey butter on top, and I think it looks awesome. Again, you guys can see they're so simplistic. They are so crazy simplistic, but the cards, I think, just turned out spectacular. There's a few of those black dots scattered around to kind of hold my pennants from floating around in outer space, and then a few of the white stars as well, just to add a little bit of that, that kind of the clutter element around, clustering element around the outside. So here is a fun one. Again, I told you guys you would know these thin cuts when you saw them. So this is an older one that I'm pretty sure is still on the website as well. It's got these fun little circular cutouts here, and you can see the stitching. I love this one, but I decided to turn it into a shaker card. So I had some more of that yellow mix-in paper that I backed behind there. There's a piece of acetate, of course, underneath the sapphire cardstock, and I used some of my blue crystals. So they're technically retired, but they're still available on the website. And I had some left over. So I was trying to actually get to the bottom of those so I could free up my little container to put my new Journey sequins in. So I used a lot of those little blue crystals on there. We've got some more of those Celebrating You white acrylic embellishments. I also put some black stars on top there that I think was a pretty cute little touch. There's another little star there as well, but you've got a few down here too. Then we've got the viewfinder on the top with the best day. Again, those are all the same pieces from the workshop. And then I also added a little teeny tiny happy birthday. So I feel like that is a very cute little birthday card that would work for really a male or a female. But it's just really stinking cute either way, right? So this one is a super simplistic one. It's using this thin cut. So this one, the opening is covered up by the Picture My Life card, the Let's Party card. This one will show you the thin cut, but it's that one with that really cool little cutout on the inside. I can't remember the name of this one, which is why I'm showing you a picture. But this one, you can't really tell because the Picture My Life card is covering it up, but I feel like this one turned out so stinking simplistic. Yet it was one of my favorites. So this is one of those little banners, okay? And what I do this with a lot of my banners, and I did it in another card as well, but I'm going to show you guys or tell you guys what I did. So I folded this in half, but I didn't crease it, okay? So how you would kind of achieve that is you could take your bone folder and kind of do this because you want it to kind of curve, but you don't really want it to be creased, okay? So I did this number, okay, following me? And I put a little bit of foam tape on the inside there. And that foam tape serves two purposes. It's going to essentially hold this in shape. So these two edges are going to be held down together, okay, one on either side. And it's also going to keep it from creasing because I didn't want it to be creased like you would score something like the card base here is going to be creased. I didn't want that. I wanted it to be rounded and have that really cool dimensional look. And so the foam tape is going to allow you to do that. So it's going to keep both edges closed. It's going to adhere them closed, and it's also going to keep that rounded edge and it won't get smushed even if it goes in an envelope. And so then I took some adhesive and I stuck it back behind the card, and that just gave you a really fun little dimensional element that matched, totally coordinated with the rest of the card, but it's literally just a little tiny piece of paper. It was just so fun. So that's how I achieved that. So I want you guys to know kind of the steps that we took to do that. This was just honey butter cardstock and then just that Picture My Life card on top with a few of those little black stars. That's all there is to it, you guys. I mean, so fast and simple. It's not even funny. So this is the other one with that thin cut. I went ahead and put some more of that yellow paper back behind it. I seem to have a lot of that yellow paper left over. So yellow paper back behind it, you've got your acetate here and more of our glacier colored crystals back there. And I know that you cannot see just a ton of the shakers back behind there, but it's okay. I can see the edges here. I can hear it and feel it. And it still feels just as shakerish to me as if you could see the entire thing. So don't be afraid to kind of cover up bits and pieces. You can see on this one we did here, you can very, very much tell it's still a shaker. It shakes like a shaker. It sounds like a shaker. It looks like a shaker, but you don't necessarily have to leave the entire thing open. So I put my favorite sentiment here on top, the You Shine Brights, some more of those blue crystals. You've got some more of those dots that are just kind of, again, supporting, like little supporting elements around here. And then how I got the black here in the middle, this is just a fun little trick. So this is just 1/4 inch cardstock strips. If you guys are inside the membership, you know I've done a ton of classes with just 1/4 inch cardstock strips for years now. I love them. And so what I did was I just took my cardstock, and all I did, I don't want to crease this one because this is part of the add-on kit, but we're going to pretend like this is a 1/4 of an inch strip of cardstock. Okay. All I did was just this. That's all I did. That's fancy, right? I mean, I'm pretty high tech around here. I just folded it over, and I did this with 2 different pieces. So what I did was I folded it over. Before I put my You Shine Bright on, I folded it over and I put a little piece of Scotch tape just to hold this down. Okay. So I put Scotch tape on the first one. I did another one. Okay. Folded it, stuck it down the other way. So the loop's on the other side. Took another little piece of Scotch tape, folded it down. Then I took my You Shine Bright and smacked it on top, and that's all there is to it. It was easy as can be. But look at what a fun presentation it is. It has a lot of dimension. It's super fun. And who doesn't like shaking it around, right? Maybe that's just me, but I like shaking it around. So this one was really cool too. I want to show you guys how I did this one. So let me grab, okay. Here are the pieces that were inside the kit that inspired this card. So this was, again, you guys recognize this thin cut. It's that fun one with the stitched scalloped circles out of the middle. I love this one because, again, it's just, I tend to lean towards more simplistic things rather than like really lots of mixed media and all of that kind of thing. I'm just kind of a simple girl, and I just love the look of this. So I wanted to use these striped pieces, but I just couldn't figure out how to do it. So what I did was I printed multiples of these. So I would use like a full one right here. In fact, let me grab I just want to grab the other one so you guys can see exactly what I mean. Hang on one moment. Let's just get back in here in our envelope because, like I said, we didn't get them all out. Okay, maybe it is on my plate. Hang tight, my friends. Hang tight. Here we go. Here it is. Okay, so what I did was I was going to take 2 of them to cover up this opening, right? Because this is not long enough, tall enough to cover up this circle. Okay, so what I did was I took 2 of them, or rather 1.5. So you've got one here. Okay, I took a couple of these, and instead of using full ones, I just cut them down in half. Okay, so then I put my other half right here. So I have it covered up the entire circle, but it left that seam in the middle, and I wanted to cover up that seam. So what I did was I took my paper trimmer and I just had some little teeny tiny scraps of my black glitter paper, and I trimmed off about 1/8 of an inch strip of that black glitter paper, and I just put it on top of where that seam was. So this actually kind of looks like one full piece of paper, or at least, at the very least, you can't tell that it's 2 pieces of paper. Okay, so you've got the black seam there. So I did that on all 3 pieces. So the top one, the seam was kind of down here at the bottom. The middle one, it was closer to the middle, and then on the bottom one down here, the seam was closer to the top. And I did also switch them. So you've got the sapphire on the right down here, but I moved it where the sapphire was on the left over there, just to kind of give it a bit of a little funky, I don't know, it has like a little zigzag where my eyes go when they're looking. It's so funny. You guys have sent me messages for years telling me that you love to hear me talk through projects about like kind of how my brain sees them. And it's so funny that you guys like that, because I feel so dumb when I do it, because I don't know how to put it into words that people will understand. It just sounds stupid. So, I had the full pieces of the paper, kind of what they looked like, with the glitter paper in the middle, but it just kind of felt like, okay, how am I going to kind of make it look like I meant to do it, and I wasn't covering up something. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go back into my little print and cut sentiments, and maybe I'll use the black glitter paper as almost like an anchor point to place some sentiments to be more of a focal image. So it's almost like I'm purposefully drawing your attention to where the break is in the pattern paper, because that's a sentiment, that's a focal image, and I want you to look there. So it's almost like it's almost like I'm trying to make you look there now when I'm was initially trying to cover it up, if that makes sense. So I've got a couple of happy birthday sentiments. This was one long piece that I had cut out. And then I thought, you know what? I'm actually going to cut it in half and just kind of stagger these a little bit down here. So I put a happy birthday on the bottom and a happy birthday on the top. And then you've got let's celebrate you that kind of sits on those glitter anchor points there. Then you'll notice I took a few of those little leftover dots and just kind of added a little bit of something around the edges, just to kind of add a little bit of that fun little cluster element around there. And I got to tell you guys, I totally love it. I wasn't sure partway through what I was going to think of this card, but I absolutely love it. And you'll notice, like, there's not even any pattern paper in there, guys. It's just a few of those print and cut pieces with white cardstock on that thin cut, and a little strip of glitter paper is all it is. So you can see, just because they're simplistic doesn't necessarily mean that they don't turn out super cute. So then the last one, I did more of what I showed you guys on that little pennant. And so the fun thing is that there are lots of pennants in your print and cut images, guys. So if you don't like the little tiny bitty stripes, do some, you could do a few of the others. So like, let's see, I'm digging back on my plate. You've got your bigger stripes. You've got your fun little triangles there. You guys could make that work with the striped triangle there. You have a ton of them. Like these geometric ones would be really fun as well. You could bend them over. So you have lots of options. So I wanted to show you guys this technique twice, just so you could have a few little ideas kind of floating around in your head. You'll notice here I used the slimline stitched card front here around the outside in honey butter paper. Honey butter cardstock. Then I've got a little bit of the green mix in paper. Again, guys, I was just using scraps for my stash. So, these colors would work well with a lot of other paper collections. So maybe if you have some paper left over from the Celebrating You paper pack, that birthday themed one from last year, these would match perfectly. So grab that out. Maybe you don't have mix-ins paper left, but you have Celebrating You paper left. Perfect. That would be great. Or if you want to add another mix-in to your order, you can do that too. It's up to you. But this, I grabbed paper and cardstock that would match my title here or my sentiment. So celebrate, again, work with a large number of different themes or occasions, right? You got some fun dots here that are just kind of filling in a little bit of that blank space. And then what I did is I used 4 more, pardon my yawn, you knew it was coming, 4 more of those fun little pennants. And all I did was I went ahead and I bent them over like I showed you guys previously. You've got the foam tape down here, you can see. So I then adhered them to the back side of my yellow frame here. And then I went ahead and I put foam tape all the way around it. If my phone will autofocus, put foam tape all the way around it so that it was a bit more flush. Okay. So the frame sticks up off of, there you can kind of see a bit of the inside, sticks up off of the bottom portion of the card, as does the sentiment. And then you've got the fun little pennant embellishments there, and it all is kind of flush. Pardon me, it's all kind of flush on the top, just by kind of way of, being a little bit strategic with where we place our foam tape. So I think this one turned out really well too. I think, again, this is going to be another one. I'll just leave it blank on the inside until I know exactly who it's going to go to. And then I'll run through my stamps and I will find a sentiment that will work. So maybe someone's getting a new job, or someone is maybe even having a baby, or just some really good news, or a birthday or something like that. I'll know how to stamp it when I know who it's going to and for what occasion, right? So there is a look at 8 of your cards. I hope that it inspires you guys. I hope it inspires you guys to, maybe if you have put together the scrapbooking workshop, maybe you will print another set of those print and cut pieces, or maybe even multiple sets if you would like, and sit down and make yourself some fun cards, you guys. I just have to tell you, I do so much of my creating. The majority of my creating is really for my business, and that, whether I'm showing projects out here publicly on my business page, or if I am creating and sharing projects inside our private creative membership for those classes, I have to have a thought process when I start. Like I usually stick with a supply list, and I have some techniques I have to share, and all of these things. one of the like most enjoyable things for me is to just say, you know what, I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to enjoy the process. And I'm going to grab whatever thin cuts I want, or whatever embellishments I want, or whatever papers I want. And I'm just going to create something pretty. And I don't have to think about all the hard things that make me a business owner, right? And that's what I did here. And so I hope that you guys will enjoy, cut another set of your print and cut elements and sit down and grab a few things that coordinate, maybe some embellishments that coordinate, grab a few of your favorite thin cuts, maybe a few pieces of your pattern paper or your cardstock that matches, and just sit down and make something pretty. Okay. Don't worry about following a cutting guide. Don't worry about sorting out, different sized measurements and all of this. Just sit down and make something pretty. Okay. And I would love to see it when you do. I would love to see it. So I hope that it was helpful. The video is always long. You guys know that's how we roll. Again, I'm going to post the links down below the video. You can get the cutting files with the print and cut digital file through PayPal over on the blog, or you can get it with a $25 order placed on my shopping website. Or if you want the entire set of the pre-cut cardstock and print and cut, then you can qualify for the add-on kit until they sell out. They are still available. But with a $125 order, you can get all of these pieces and the Stamp of the Month pre-cut kit shipped right to your door as well. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. Maybe it gives you some other inspiration for the elements that you may already be working with. So thank you, Judy. I'm so glad. Yes, that is so fun with the print and cut, being able to change the colors. Absolutely. So if somebody wants to sit and kind of like do some unflattening and changing the colors to work with the paper collection that they are playing with, absolutely they can do that for sure. Again, like Cricut is kind of one of those things that if you're knowledgeable in it, pretty much, I mean, it's endless. The possibilities are endless, what you can come up with and what you can create. It's so fun. And that's probably why I enjoy playing with it so much. But if you guys have questions, as I said, I'll post all those links below the video. But if you have questions, please feel welcome to shout at me. I'm so happy to serve in whatever way that I'm able. So until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time.